Hello, everybody. My name is Intabiseng Wejana and I am a spiritual medium. So, thank you for coming through to the channel. Thank you for your subscriptions. I welcome you here, all my new subscribers. I know I boss you a lot from the other platforms so that you can actually come and show love to the YouTube channel. This is where everything starts. So it starts from the YouTube and then it goes to other platforms. So I am grateful eternally for your feedback. I'm eternally grateful for the love that you are showing towards me and the team that I work with. I really feel extra humbled by your presence in my space, in my life, in my aura. It is wonderful. Thank you for the questions that you are raising, and I try to answer as much as I can, possibly answer to. But it gets very busy here in my world. And thank you for your patience, for bearing with me even when I have to reply to the messages that I know that I have to reply to on the WhatsApps and everywhere else. The team is doing good in trying to, bridge that gap. So, today we are talking about blessings again. So I'm trying to make it into a certain series of teachings. I actually did not think that it was going to get the traction that it got. I was surprised that you actually loved the teaching on blessings because, or maybe is it because I'm a former journalist um that we normally say people thrive on bad news, but actually the world is in the state that it is in because we keep feeding people more and more bad news. And even in spiritual talks, I find that it's a common thing to tell people what they are doing wrong. Something's going to curse them, they will be cursed eternally. You a good life, you will just hear it from people from next door. Soft life, you will not see the soft life. um but life is about seasons, as in one of the sharing is about, and we need to go through all seasons. We need to make sure that people are balanced and they know how to get certain things from spirit, isn't it? So I'm so grateful that you responded in the way that you did. So I was not sure whether it will ultimately evolve into a series or not, because I was just not sure how you are going to receive it, but you have received it so well. So let us continue. Now, today we are talking about the character of a person that is blessed. We are going to talk about how do you know if you are blessed. We are going to talk about the capacity. Do you have the capacity to take in your blessing? And so, yes, let us start on blessings. So, which with each and everything, character comes through as one of the essentials. Do you have the character of a person that is blessed? Now let's do a little recap. If you are catching this video as the first time and you've not gotten hold of the first one that is speaking on what a blessing is, so the general idea that I got as a revelation is that a blessing, it is a certain favor that you get from a particular being, a deity, a force, something that is higher than you, and it grants you this wonderful, immense favor of, it grants it to you in your life, provided it is part of the story of your life. So if you are meant to have children as a blessing, if you're meant to have a business, if you're meant to have a job, if you're meant to have a calling, if you're meant to have all the other things that you can, according to you, deem to be a blessing, it has to be within part of your story. So what does that mean? If you if you watch any movie or you read any book or you watch any other thing, everything else tells a story. History tells of stories. So in story writing or in storytelling, there are certain things that you need to follow so that there is coherency, that your story makes sense. There is something that we call the setting. The setting will be, where is this movie happening? In what year is it? Once upon a time in 1985, there was an ugly frog and a beautiful princess. There's a setting. They are setting the atmosphere for you so that you can start to have pictorials in your head and start to see the time, the location. It was windy, it was cold, it was hot. So they are setting the atmosphere for you so that you can get yourself into it and become one with the story. There is obviously the order of telling a story. This is where the story began. This is what is the background to the information that you are seeing here. And this is the where the story is going now. This is the intense moments. It really has rhythm, and it has flow, and it has the somber moments, it has the happy moments, so that your emotions are also taken into the story. And now there are many ways of telling a story. Either you can tell a story as it is chronologically. So this is the series of events that have happened that has led us to this point. Or you can do a flashback movie. A flashback movie is a movie that starts at the end and then comes to the beginning. So it's like now you are being taken through a certain person's mind, but they've already went through the journey, and now they are taking you as the audience into what had happened and taking you into the beginning. So that's a flashback movie. Now, if a blessing is something that is attached to the story of your life, what is the story of your life? I got born. We got adopted. Um, and my brother ran away and I followed him. And that is the chronological order of your story. But you have to understand the entire purpose of why you are here. There are books that one can read, your purpose driven life, right? As one of the books that that I started to read when I wanted to find my purpose, and I think it's the book that really started trouble for me. And ancestors were like, why are you reading your purpose from books? Come, come here, and they gave me this purpose. So the end, but the bigger point is you have to understand from a vision perspective who you are in spirit, who you are in this lifetime, what you are contributing to, why are you even in existence in this present lifetime that you are in, as a man, as a woman listening to this, in this lifetime, as the nationality that you are, as the gender that you are, as the human figure that you are, as the fully able bodied, or any other reason why are you in this form at this time. What is your story? So you need to understand the vision that is attached to your purpose in life. And it is very easy to get. And it's so simple to get. You just need to pray and patla and meditate and do whatever it is that draws you into your own center, and ask spirit and ask God and ask ancestors and ask whatever it is that you abide to as the force that has kept you living. And if you are an atheist, I would not know. I would not know what you need to ask. Perhaps scientists, Yes, yeah, draw on the intelligence of other men to ask about why you exist. Spot the sarcasm there. I need to change my ways. So, but what I'm saying, I'm kidding to my beautiful atheists I love you. I love you so much. Please pay no mind to me. Pay no mind. So, what I'm trying to say is that as an individual, all the time your life is telling you about your purpose. But you need to go into this deity or this big thing that it is there, and you need to ask it, why do I exist? I normally have a saying where I say to God and I say to him or her, or I say, please make me see myself the way that you are seeing me, so that I can understand what I'm doing here and why am I here. And when I said that prayer, or when I started to inquire in spirit about that, a whole lot of things came flashing through that I just could not understand up until now, because then I was living, but I was so not understanding what my purpose is. And now I do understand that my purpose is healer, is restorer, it is teacher, it is nurturer, it is all of these other things that I have I have now gotten to collect along this route of being a spiritual person, and I'm now learning to own them very beautifully. So I'm learning to own them. And so when I had that discussion about, God, please let me see myself the way that you see me. And then the purpose came through. The whole intent of the story of my life came through. It will come in ways that you can't comprehend, but it will come because you are asking. You only get what you are ready for, and you are only ready for something when you start to see that this is a question mark of my life, and there I need to ask, and then the pieces will come together as a puzzle. Yeah, right? Yes. So there are certain people who just live purposelessly, and that is their purpose. And that is their purpose, so that now they can show you the differentiation, right? There needs to be an example. There needs to be a real life example of what not to do, I suppose. Obviously, I'm trying to say this thing with as less judgment as possible. But what I'm saying is that you need to ask your existence, your subconscious, your all knowing, your being. You need to ask it questions so that they are comprehensible to your mind, and so that they are comprehensible to what your body needs to do in order for you to get into alignment with your purpose. And that's why we always speak of alignment. And so now the purpose of your life needs to come through. Another teacher says sometimes how you need to know what your talent, if your talent is any other how attached to your purpose, you will know it by seeing the thing that make you mad when they are done wrong. So if people are singing and they are not singing nicely, and that irks you, and you feel the need to say to them, you can sing it like that, it is then you understand that something within your being is attached to music. Then focus on music. If you are attached to soccer, you would get annoyed by when somebody's not doing something correctly. Then get into it. Follow the things that you are passionate about. Then it will lead you to your purpose or to your talents. That's one way. That's us being practical about it, right? So now you need to understand the story of your life. And I'm not saying you need to understand the history of the things that you've been through. I'm saying you need to understand the entire reasoning as to why you, as an entity, is living adjacent the plants, the people, the everything else, the work, the everything else. Where you exist, you need to understand why do you exist, and that will tell you about what the story of your life is going to become. And now, once you have the story, you have to have the character. You have to have the people who are playing into the storyline, the characters, the starring. In South Africa, would say steering. Yeah, Rambo is the steering. So you have to understand the characters of the people that star in the story. Now, the people that star in the story, you have the main characters, you have the supporting crew, you have the extras, you have all of these people, the cameo roles. So all of these people are there even in your own life story. But what about you as a character? You are the main character in your own story, and you have the character to push through your own story as one that is blessed. People believe that for you to become blessed, you would have to come through suffering. Is it a prerequisite? I don't know. I don't know. What do you think? Do we need to suffer in order for us to get blessed? Think about it. Or do we need to go and find out what is the definition of suffering? Are you suffering or are you growing from one phase to the other so that you are within the right character to get your blessing? Now, I obviously don't want to be controversial. I really like for this channel to be as void of religion teaching as possible, but sometimes I just fail because, yeah, I've, my aspirations of really becoming the preacher's wife. Ne? We've spoken about those. They're as intense as me living in Dubai. So, yeah, embrace me. This is the story of my life. Embrace me, love me. So now let us talk about Jeremiah in the Bible, in the Christian Bible, in the Bible. And God says to Jeremiah, "For I have known you before you were born, while you were in the womb." He says this to Jeremiah, "I have known you." So already, when Jeremiah is being when Jeremiah is being spoken to by God, and he realizes that he's been a plan from the onset. And now, one day, God says to Jeremiah, "Go into the potter's house, for I want to teach you something." And Jeremiah goes like, "Oh, potter's house. Why can't you just teach me stuff here? Oh God, oh yeah. God is very busy. Like, why must we now go into the potter's house?" Checks through the door, finds the potter. And God says, "I'm going to teach you a lesson there." And he gets there and he sits there. Oh, now I'm just watching a person have clay in their hands. Like, what am I watching? Why am I doing this thing? And probably he doesn't understand. And as he's sitting there, he gets a revelation, I would assume. And he watches the potter with his clay and he breaks it. He molds it. The clay falls off the hand. He catches it. He puts it. And then it falls again. And he, you've seen. Then he puts more water because now it's becoming harder. And then it starts to now form shape and is controllable. And then he realizes he's put too much water. Now it's too fluid. Can't even form anything else. Then he puts more clay and then he starts to have shape. Starts to have shape. Right? Then he's having this lesson, and God says to him, "If I, as God, am the potter, and you are clay in my hands." Ha! Can you imagine that lesson? I'm just imagining it. You are clay in my hands. You have to move as I move you. I'm building your character. You have to bend as I bend you. Sometimes you'll be too slippery because you won't understand that we are within a plot, and the plot gets uncomfortable. You want to get out. And sometimes you are too fluid in my hands. Now you are dealing with me that you think you can actually run this thing on your own and you move on too fast and then it starts to break on the other sides. Then you still need me, the potter, to catch you because you're about to fall out of shape and I'm going to mold you again. It's hard, it's painful, it's wet, it's dry, it's hard. So if it remains hard in my hands, then it's not going to be what I want it to be. So you have to be flexible as God builds a character of a blessed individual. You have to be hard enough so that you can hold the right balance between clay and water. And you have to agree to the wind coming to you and drying you up. And you have to agree to being put in a furnace, in the oven, when God or the deity or your ancestors or the force or whatever you believe in is trying to build a character of a blessed individual. And you have to be obedient to the potter. And it might look like a very painful process. Sometimes it might look like a very playful process. But either way, it is still a process. And you have to understand that you have to go through everything else so that one day the potter can put you up as a display and we say you are blessed. So let's pretend that this is the clay and it has the candle. It has the durability, the weight for display. Shows the imperfection of a half face. We don't know whether it's complete or whether the other face, whatever happened to it, what is the story that's being told here, but it's a story nonetheless. This is the design according to the potter. An incomplete life, perhaps, we don't know. But the point is that this is durable enough to capacitate the heat that it will have. It is a display that will capacitate its function. And then when it's put there, it is blessed. It has been tried, it has been tested. And it has earned its right to be this until somebody else decides that the time for it is over. But in the meantime, this is its character. It's designed for this. Now, many people want to have the same journey as everybody else. How did you do it? But what did your potter say? Now, there are certain people who want to look like other people as they go on to the journey because they've been there first. They know what it is to be a healer. You are healing wrong. This is the right way. They're coming here with the red pen. Why? Because they were told that the vase needs to be green. The only way to get through this thing is when the vase is green. And the vase is green. Is this the only way? The vase is green. The vase is also green. So which one is the right vase? Which one? Because the potter made this, the potter made that. Which shade? So please be comfortable in the character that God, your ancestors, whoever has built you up to become, because your purpose, your story is not the same. Sometimes you will be this one. You'll be big, you'll be oval, you'll be everything, you'll capacitate more. Sometimes you will be this one. You will be glossy. You will have different shades where many versions of you are visible because now God wants to show you off as this kind of a blessed character. And if you get caught up in being the other green, you might be missing your blessing. And as I was finding this verse upstairs, I found things that are not supposed to be here. Pesci put them there. And I was like, what's going on? I found our sellotape. Is it? Yeah, sellotape. And I found Dawa products. I found all of these things. And I was very unhappy. I was like, what is going on? And I found liquid paraffin. One of the things that we put in the lotion so that your skin can remain as supple. And I realized why? And I was like, I'm going to take them out. And a voice said, but there's a lesson in it. And I said, what is the lesson? And the lesson said, sometimes you can be this. Your purpose, your character can be shaped. And then you will find people who don't know what your use is. And they will fill you up with clutter because they don't know the main intention of the potter. They don't understand the character of who you are. And then they will put in other things that have nothing to do with you. You are a blessing nonetheless. But yet certain people are going to fill you up with things that are not supposed to be. Certain people will hide certain things inside of you, but yet you are a glossy one. You are a beautiful one. Your character is built, is set, your purpose, your story is set, and you are a blessed individual. But the people that you associate with might not know what was the intention of the potter in your life. So all the time you must keep to your story. This verse must say, I'm a display and I deserve flowers, and it must have flowers because it has earned its stripes, but yet is associating with people who don't understand the potter's intention, who don't understand the blessing, who don't understand the fairness that it went into. And then there are certain people that will go through the same process and they will come out sad and bitter, or perhaps thoughtful and wise and perspective. Perceptive? Perceptive. Yes, perceptive. That's the word I'm looking for. It's too much of a Sunday to speak English. Perceptive, thoughtful in themselves within, or still and sad, and having no expression. And we would not know who they are, what they're supposed to be doing, and we would just discard them, or perhaps see the beauty in just the color, that no matter how sad they are, perhaps the blessing is the color. Perhaps it's just good enough the way that it is. And that is why sometimes we need to stop changing people and just consider them as blessings the way that they are. For as long as they serve us, for as long as we can find a place that we can display them, even though when we don't understand them. Sometimes we differ in terms of how God will show us off. And it's not going to be the same when you are finally a finished product and you are put on a pedestal and people think, after so much, is that it? When you are this, when you're still full of grace, still full of purpose, still full of hope, and you are this, and you are enough, because this has its place. You are a blessing as it is. Your characteristics say that you have been through it. It says that you are soft, but you can be hard and become just beautiful. And just beautiful. Perhaps that's what this one is saying. We don't know. So obviously I did not have a clay one, so that's why I'm showing you glass, but I'm all about the display that after you've built your character, after you've known your story, God will come to you and display the blessings. And that's when we see the finished product, that you are a blessed individual, either at this capacity or at this capacity. And then we say, God is showing off. And we say, I'm abundantly blessed and I'm highly favored and I'm beautifully made because you are grand. But we don't know the things that you've been through. We don't know the things that you've been through. But at this level, you are a blessing and you are grand. And the potter has put you at display point, and your character is firm. Your character has been tested. So get into the habit of speaking like a blessed one. Get into the habit of not speaking against your blessings. I want children, but children are expensive. I want marriage, but I will not do that for a man. You are speaking against your own blessings. I want a job, but no boss will ever come and boss me around. I want to start a business, but what is a customer? They must hear from me. You want it, but you're speaking against it. You are well capacitated. You are built for it. You are everything for it. But your character sometimes can come through and speak against your blessing. But at all times, when you're cognizant of what the entire story is going to be, what the finished product is going to be, then you will have the endurance to go through what your blessing demands for you to go through. You will build up the character because you know the storyline. And when you are put there as a display, you will be grateful and not scorn others and not scorn their journey and not scorn their beginnings and not do anything else, because you are there at blessing and you are going to be there at blessing. But it is a journey. So go through the story of your life. Know the story of your life. Because at the end of the day, all of us are blessed. But sometimes you need perspective of what a blessing is. Is the blessing at finished product? Or is the blessing at the start of the story, because you already have a vision of where it's going to end? So, in your story, you can decide to be a main character. You can come off as a main character and you can become a supportive character, a supporting character when you take your story and you put it in the hands of others. And you say, what am I supposed to be doing? I am lost. It's because you are not keeping to the vision as to how the story will end. So go into your own life story, having the flashback from end to the beginning. So when you get lost, you start to get other people to take center stage and they become main characters, and you are supporting in your own story. And therefore, when blessings don't come, it's because you took other people and you placed them higher in your own story. And sometimes you become such a supporting and then you lose the entire plot along the way because you are not keeping. You've not read the entire script. You don't know the vision. You've kept out of vision to such an extent that now you become an extra. You are just floating around and you say, I am lost and I'm not blessed. But you are, because the script says you are. The potter says you are. And then you get lost and you become an extra. And slowly you fade and you fade and you only appear once or twice. And you have a cameo role in your own life story. But in all of these characters, you still remain a blessed individual. But you need to work your way up at main character in your own story. So nobody can come to you and dictate what your blessing is, except the one that has the capacity to bless your life. May you be blessed. Thank you so much. I'm Thabiso Ngwechana, and I'm a spiritual medium, and I'm blessed. Yeah, in the Christianity, in the Bazalwane faith, where I used to really be, and I still am. So I think some part of me still so much. Even though I know I should not be blasphemous. Hey, there are protocols. But yes, I always say, take what works and take it to where you are being called. Right. So we used to say, I'm blessed and highly favored. And a character on TV says, I'm blessed and highly flavored. So yes, be blessed and highly flavored. I love you, and just say thank you for coming through. Be blessed.